All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto you.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim out there pushing the word and sincerity and the truth. Yeah, this is brothers here from Great Millstone, Atlanta. And we're going to do a lesson, encouraging balance, speaking on behalf of the spirit of balance. And, going into the importance of it. Because even my self-meditating a little bit earlier, not too long ago, but thinking about the concepts of balance, if balance wasn't on earth, everything would be thrown off, which we see. You have women over men. Scripture said I would create a new thing where a woman will compass that about a man. You have base men, which are the Edomites. They're supposed to be at the lowest part of society at the top, and you have the actual sons of the Most High at the bottom.
That's right.
So the power found in balance in today's times is very, very difficult to most. Which is really like a miracle in the spirit for us to retain this knowledge, accept this knowledge, and grow with it. The scriptures speak about, this word like being likened onto a seed. And in order for a seed to grow, it needs a balanced amount of soil, it needs a balanced amount of water, it needs a balanced amount of sunlight, and then you will see that that seed yield increase, tenfold, 20-fold, 50-fold, 100-fold, or whatnot, But that's the beauty of everything, all the ingredients being, properly proportioned, for that seed to grow. And it's the same thing that factors into our spirits, See, this whole thing about this devil, he wants to knock us off our balance and keep us off balance. But the key is to stay on top of yourself, stay, as spiritually well-rounded as possible, and don't let weak points, don't neglect your weaknesses. You might see you're weak in one area, 2 areas, or 3 areas. Now, those should be some of the highest focal points that you put your energy into. Of course, you focus on your strongs, but you also focus on your weaks, so that everything can be evenly and like Scripture says, justly balanced out. Because a just weight, which will have you get the law in Leviticus, the Scriptures speak about just balances, man. A lot of Scriptures go into the righteousness of having everything, balanced correctly. Now, in the ancient world, they would do weights and measurements for coin, and that's what kept everything intact, knowing price, for abundance and things of that nature, and they would actually, like I said, weigh these things, and they would see it would be worth this weight in gold or weight of silver, So it's the same thing really in the spirit, being balanced is and also weighty in the spirit, weighing these heavier matters in the scriptures and teaching them, it basically has it in the spirit for you to grow with, and growing is the ultimate achievement. Scripture says to grow in the grace of Yahweh Shai. So we're going to go into some scriptures, of course. You got
we're going to start off in Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 1. And it says here, a false balance is abomination to the Lord Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. So a false balance is hated by Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai. That's why, like the deacon was going into, everything is turned upside down right now because the balance is off. Nothing is balanced correctly because a wicked ruler, is, running the world. Okay, so a false balance is an abomination to the Lord. All right, so, especially us being, servants of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, we uphold ourselves, to try to have a well-balanced, versus, dealing with the truth and, our everyday, lives. So, like, hold on. So, like, you had to sneeze. But, just dealing with the truth, versus, everything else that's that we have to do in our everyday lives. The balance must, it must be there. Okay, it has to be be present, or else, it'll be thrown off. Okay, because it says, but a just weight is his delight. All right, so the Lord is delighted, if you have a just weight or a good balance, man. All right, and that's what we pride ourselves on, man. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the word balance here as well, and it's H3976, and it's Ma'azayim, and it says scales and balances. In the Strong's, it says only in the dual, a pair of scales or balances. Let me see the root word.
Yeah, like you have, for an example, you have a pH balance, which is, if I'm not mistaken, is that potential hydrogen? Might be. Yeah, that's it.
I believe so.
So, it's supposed to be in the middle. A balanced pH is really supposed to be on the higher side, which makes it alkaline. If it's too low, I think below 7,
It's
your
acidic.
body goes into a state of acidity, and diseases thrive in an acidic environment, but they can't thrive within an alkaline environment. And the power of balancing alkaline is you can also be too alkaline. If you're overly alkaline, you go through what's known as alkalosis, which is overly alkaline, an overly alkaline environment, because you need certain acids too, balance them out. Like your body has acid, stomach acid.
It says potential of hydrogen.
Yeah, potential hydrogen. Either in too much acid, it goes, I think it's acidiosis or acidosis, and the opposite is alkalinosis, something to that degree. I could look it up right now, which I will, just put clarity on that. But the point that alkalosis is an excessive alkaline condition of the body fluids or tissues that may cause weakness or cramps. Too much alkaline. But acidiosis, is too much acid in the body. Overly acid, which destroys your body too. So you need what? Balance. You got to balance both. How the Most High made the human body is to be perfectly balanced so it can work in harmony. That's why those men in the ancient world could live so long, man. They could thrive for so long. The oldest man to live was Methuselah, which he was 969 years old. You don't think he was a balanced man? Even Enoch, the scriptures speak about how these men walk right in which they walked in balance. They handled their business as men on earth. They were, scripture says Enoch was perfect when his walk with the Lord. So we got to be those spiritual mini Enochs. Spiritual mini. Howard Shaw's, of course, first and foremost, he was the most balanced man in the scriptures. But also the prophets, the kings, the priests, which the prophets are subject unto the prophets. But these men are to be looked up to, and how they dealt and covered so much grounds with it took effort. I wouldn't say effortlessly, but for them to do these different things and not falter one from the next. What you got?
I'm gonna go to Leviticus.
I got something too.
Okay. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse, I believe it's 36. Yep. I'll start up a little. I'll start at verse 35. It says, "Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meter yard, in weight, or in measure. Just balances, just weight, and a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have."
Yeah, and we have examples of even in scriptures of just, which you have the term justice, and the symbol of justice, even in the court, is the scale. Scales and balances. That's a major symbol within the courts of Esau. Is the scale that balance out. Now in the scriptures you had things that weren't balanced and measured out right, like you had the priest's sons that were taking a flesh hook, taking more than a priest
Offering.
ought to
Yeah.
take, overly indulgent. You know, they were an imbalance. It was an imbalance in the priesthood, and that imbalance in the priesthood trickled down onto the nation. People were getting overly oppressed, and you even had this. That's what a wicked king is. Not balanced. He's overly indulgent in things of the world. You know, the scripture even says that having a form of righteousness, they might have certain aspects, but they're not balanced all the way out. So they don't, their credibility is pretty much not there. That's what makes a wicked king, and you'll see it flow down. You know, because like the apostle say, shit roll downhill.
Yeah.
You know, so you'll see these things flow down to the generals, to the captains. You know, the delegates. You know, certain men that fall up under the wing of that king.
Yeah, like the brother here, Iraq, he like to always say that avalanche effect.
Avalanche effect.
Yeah.
Or domino effect.
Yeah, domino effect.
But you got it.
Yeah, I reread it again. Verse 36, it says, just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hand shall ye have. So all things, you know, are supposed to be balanced. You know, if you got if you sit, you know, a ball on each end of a ruler or whatever, you know, and it's off balance, it's going to roll off. It's going to fall off. You know, but if you balance it, you know, perfectly, then those balls are going to stay on it. And that's how you really got to just look at life in general. You know, with everything has to have a balance. Even though it's difficult because we're in slavery and, you know, being oppressed, but the is like the saying goes, is like it's in our mind. Yeah. It's in our thoughts. Like, oh, I got to balance this out. I got to balance this out. Checks and balances.
Checks and balances. Yeah, because the scriptures even speak about carnal things that you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
Too. You know, it says he that doesn't take care of pretty much. You know, it's basically family matters, not your actual mother and father. I mean, you honor them, but it says that you're pretty much worse than an infidel if you don't take care of the essentials. You know, so you have to, you know, scripture speak about labor. You know, us labor working with our hands. You have to balance that brought out. You know, in a carnal sense, but you often also have to balance the spiritual, because the scripture says what? To do the work of an evangelist.
Yeah.
You see. So these things have to be perfectly scaled one onto another, and that's how you spiritually scale yourself. That's where growth comes in it, because when you do these things, and simultaneously, you know, give put time in the spirit with these certain actions and things of that nature that you go through, you know, you'll see the benefit of it. You know, anybody, whether it's the sports world, you know, anybody that is engaged in some form of high performance, they know that balance is key. If you're an actor, you have to balance out so much different components when it comes to being an actor, to be top nominated, you know, to be looked at as one of the A-list, you know. Like Leonardo DiCaprio, he's a hellified balanced actor. You know, he works on any, you know, the major things and the minor things that comes with being a qualified actor. You know, which when you get on certain levels like that, that's when the check gets bigger, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, more people actually desire your presence and desire you to actually. And this is, of course, on a carnal sense. Now, we don't look for the credibility of man, because the scripture says, woe unto them when the world shall speak well of you. But understanding how to keep things in reasonable weights, spiritual weights, where everything is for lack of a better term, balance. You know?
Yeah.
But you got some more on that?
That was it on that one.
Okay, I got
You want that Job?
Yeah, Job 31:6. I'll read it.
Okay.
Let me be weighed in an even balance, that the Most High may know my integrity. Yeah, so Job, even though he was going through hell and he had certain complaints, you know, he felt certain ways about the things he was going through, but he wanted the Lord to judge him according to his integrity, because he know he was doing things righteously even amongst the brethren, you know, the brotherhood. And the scriptures speak about how the Lord judges the hearts and the intents of men. So he judges your mind, all right? He looks at, scripture says in Proverbs the 15th chapter, the 3rd verse, how the angels look down beholding the evil and the good. And that's how we know certain judgment happens through the spirit. Jake usually get judged, of course, really in all cases. If Jake just judged heavily, there was being a big boy demon on the earth, man. Being a negative force set out to do evil.
Yeah.
And then something, a bad omen take place, or so to speak, and Jake, get shot by the opposition. But Jacob be doing the most. They'll do wicked ass shit. And then a lot of these murders and things that take place in these streets, are targeted hits. It's not accidental. Now you have straight bullets, but that's just only a small percentage that goes on. Most times people get killed because they're committing adultery.
Yeah.
They're starting shit. They're robbing, scamming, scheming, doing all kind of, things adverse or negative.
Yep.
The word negative means to take away. They're taking away the certain spirits of really positivity amongst even the people, and then they'll face what people know today as karma, man.
Yep.
You see, so that's why we want to be fully balanced in righteousness, staying out of the midst of the bullshit. You see this, those dark energy. Scripture says, "Take no communion with pretty much dark forces, but rather reprove them." Ephesians the 5th chapter. Stay away from certain energy because you could get consumed in it. It says, "He that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith." No matter the enticements and the seduction, we know what that type of road leads down.
Yeah, and that's why, if I could add to your point, that's why I said in Proverbs the 16th chapter that the Lord hates a false, balance. Especially when dealing with wickedness, on that aspect of it, he'll just put you to death. Because he hates it, so he gets rid of it. Okay, but that was it on that one.
Yeah, and it speaks about 2nd Ezra 9:22 about the elect. Because the elect are the most balanced people on the face of the earth. When it comes to the spiritual matters, they put the Lord first. Scripture says to seek the kingdom of heaven first, and all the other things are going to be added onto you. Scripture says to have this wisdom as a frontlet in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
Not putting the Lord on the back burner and doing the lust of yourself, man. Like when the old world got destroyed during the time of Noah, that was an imbalanced world, man.
Yeah.
That world was totally off, man.
Right.
pH in the fucking negatives, man.
Stinks.
Yeah, stink. What the scripture speak about, like a sweet savior.
Yeah, that sweet savior.
Lord spoke about even how the wickedness is like smoke in his nostrils, man. Lord be seeing things, and he get vehemently hot. That's why I say, like, in the scriptures, 80,000 Israelites died in that day.
Right.
Or a mass amount of people just got killed in a certain, because the Lord will command the angels. All right, man. They want to tip the balance. All right, we're gonna send some natural disasters, so-called natural disasters, which is really the hand of the Most High.
Yeah, to balance everything back out. And that's what the missiles is gonna do.
And that's what which the missiles are known as what? The great equalizer.
Yeah.
Because the Lord wants peace, man. He's a king of peace. It says in heaven as it is in earth. In the heavens, everything is perfectly balanced. There ain't no spirits that like they arguing and beefing. It's harmony in the heavens. So where's chaos? Harmony is all over the universe. Everywhere in the universe but the planet Earth. The solar system, the galaxy, the everything, is in perfect harmony and perfect balance. But this current world is the only place in the universe that's off balance, man.
Yeah.
So the Lord is gonna do a great fixing in this place. But when the Lord comes, we gotta be the ones that He finds so doing.
Yeah.
Those wise virgins that kept that oil in their how's it written? Matthew the 25th chapter.
Yeah.
But
the oil in the lamps.
They kept the oil in their lamps, so that when the good shepherd came, He's saying, all right, it is certain people that is balanced. But everybody's not in balance. You have certain people that is on point, and they will be delivered from this uncommon destruction. What you got?
This Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 29. You spoke on, the Lord being equal. It says, "Yet saith the house of Israel, the way of the Lord is not equal. O house of Israel, are not my ways equal, and are not your ways unequal?"
See? And it don't work like that. If you're the son of the Most High, hey, that's why you have, I was going to say, you're supposed to represent the Lord in a certain light. But that's why you have these celebrities. They'll be multi-billionaires. They don't even want to give nothing to their sons. Because they see that, you know what, this guy's not even in my image.
A degenerate.
He's pretty much a degenerate, and he's going to take, like you have this thing where, recently I seen Jackie Chan, he doesn't plan on giving his son anything. He amassed a $400 million plus fortune.
Yeah.
But he's not putting anything in his son's trust, put a trust in or the will in his son's name or whatnot, because he feels like he didn't walk accordingly to the legacy that he laid out. He's a degenerate.
Oh, Jerry Springer did that too. He left. He put the will in his wife and her kid and his kids with her versus the kids he had with the Edomite woman.
Yeah, because they see things afar and they see like, you know what, this man's not qualified. Even though he's a descendant, I can't entrust him with making wise decisions because he has a pattern. The scripture says what? To have a pattern of good works, which is balance.
Yeah.
Everything works in balances, So when you do these things, like I said, it's compound, it's like spiritual compound interest, and you get blessings. That's how blessings come, man.
Yeah.
From doing the scriptures speak about doing the just. We just went into that, just in our righteous ways. But that's it on that.
Yeah, that was it.
We could really close on that.
Okay.
It ain't got to be too long. We really wanted to just drive home a few points in regards to that matter. I'm trying to stay in the best, the best version of ourselves. The scriptures is known as what? Honey. It's known as sweetness. It's known as bitter. It could be, it's written in woes, lamentations, and what's it? Written mournings, lamentations, and woes. But you do also have joy.
Songs. Yeah.
Yeah. You have things that actually, so-called brighten up your day, for lack of a better term. We in hell, but we know that it is going to be better days to come. That's why scriptures refer to us as the children of light. So to remain in the light, we have to stay in balance. If not, the Lord spoke about putting certain candlesticks out in Revelation. And we don't want to be those men, to get put out. Our candlesticks and the spiritual light that the Lord has given unto us to be put out. So we have to keep that light, embering or activated, by doing that which He has told us and commanded us. So hopefully the brothers and a few sisters are edified. We're going to end it by giving all praise and honor and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostle. That was a great millstone. Shalom, Akim.
Shalom.